So today on We Are All Michaels, it is just me today. We're gonna do this every other week format, and not every other week, every other day format. Each of us will do a video every other day, and once a week we're going to try to make a little collab. So today for my video, I'm going to be doing a quiz called "What kind of anarchist are you?" So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So Uh, the traditional functions of the state should be provided by the local community or no one at all, not private individuals. So basically, um, everything should run um, with everybody in mind, not just certain people calling all the shots. Which, yeah, okay, I agree with. So I'm gonna agree. So next question. The freedom of the individual is more important than social solidarity or mutual aid, which means the freedom of one specific person, not specific, but one person is more important than quieting it down and making everybody think that everything is okay if it's really not. So I'm going to agree with that one too, because I don't think anybody should be left in the dark. Uh, so socialist or collective anarchism would likely lead to a tyranny of the majority. So it's saying that if the community all had power over everything, it would lead to corruption and everything would be bad. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and agree with that one. So the means of production should be owned and controlled by workers, unions, and syndicates, as opposed to individuals or the community as a whole. So it's basically saying if Fago isn't producing enough soda, that little Timmy shouldn't have to, and his family shouldn't have to be held responsible for that. So yeah, I agree with that. Um, Having the means of production run by the workers does not guarantee freedom for the whole community. Therefore, it would be better for them to be owned by the collective or by no one at all. No. So, no. By no one at all. So it's basically saying if production does not happen based on everyone in the community, Fago would go out of business. Not just Fago, but all companies. Which, yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So I'm gonna disagree with that one because I don't think that is true. I mean, it makes sense what they were trying to go for, but it's not true. No, it's not a good thing. So from each according to ability to each according to need is a better system of distribution than to each according to work done. So if this would basically help with the poverty problem that happens in almost every country. So basically, if somebody's not able to do something well, but they need like a resource like money or food, then they would get kind of the same amount that somebody who is doesn't really need it, like someone who's has a surplus of everything, but doing a lot of work. So, yeah, I agree with that one. So, uh, lot of questions. So, I'm going to go with. I'm just going to show you guys the highlights of this because there's a lot of questions, and yeah. So, be back when the next good question happens. All right, guys. So, this one says violence can never be justified, which yes, it can. It can very easily be justified if somebody is doing something that would harm like you, then you should have the ability to stop them by any means necessary, even if it does come to death. So yeah, I definitely do not agree with that. Um, Next one is really good too. Female liberation is an integral part of anarchism. Yes, because that would be, if not, that would be putting men in charge of everything, which would not be what anarchists want. So, yep, I agree with that. Plus, there's nothing wrong with females being in charge of stuff. Like, yeah, women are just as capable of doing things as men are. It's just some things men are better at, and some things women are better at. There's a just based on like anatomy and like chemical things in the brain, which is not saying that women aren't like rational or anything like some guys try to say. Um, it's just that men and women have different production of chemicals and sometimes even different chemicals. So yeah. So let's go to another highlight. Okay, so this one says our principal concern today should be to overcome our desire to conquer and dominate nature. I agree with that because if we are trying so hard to shape nature to do what we want it to do, it's just going to harm nature, and which eventually could wipe us out, and then the Earth will just in a long time, but like in a million years or so, will just heal back and keep doing its thing. So we shouldn't completely adapt to nature because that'd be going back to like primal stuff. But we should just calm down on the trying to make nature our there's a word I could say, but trying to make nature our lesser. Yeah. So um, the environment is important, but human beings should always take priority. Um, no, because if there's no environment, there's no human beings. So no, no, no to that. Disagree. So we're almost halfway done with these questions, thank God. Um, so anarchists should at the very least have a green conscience and respect for the environment. Yes, is if anarchists aren't going to completely uh, adapt to nature, which like I said before, we shouldn't. Um, then they should be able to respect it and compromise with how the nature processes work. Yeah, it's true. So on to another highlight. All right, anarchism is a way of life, not a political movement. I'm going to very much agree with that because just because something is a political movement doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good thing. And with anarchism, uh, you have to like be. One second. Okay, sorry. Back. I have another little discussion. Um, but yeah, uh, there are certain things that anarchy prioritizes, and that anarchists have like should believe in to be considered anarchists. Um, so it has to be it is a way of life. Yeah, you can't go halvesies on it. Like you can't agree with some things, but like, that one doesn't make me happy or make me look good, so I'm not gonna go with it. Which is what some Christians do. Not all Christians, but like some Christians and Muslims, basically all areas of everything, but mainly religions, because there's some things that they don't agree with in their religious texts, so they kind of don't talk about those, which I don't think is right. But yeah. Which, speaking of that, the next question is: religion is incompatible with anarchism. Yes, I agree with that because as long as there's religion, there's going to be people who believe that one group of people should rule over everybody, and no, it's not a good thing. So, ideally, the teachings of Jesus should guide us all in an anarchist society. No, no, what? No. Um, the teaching of Jesus says that God, uh, this is just my opinion, but basically God oppresses everybody to just do his bidding and worship him, and if you don't, you'll be sent to a not so happy place. Um, which doesn't make sense because then he says he loves you. I'm just saying, I love my little sister, so I'm not going to send her to a place of fire and death. So that's just my personal opinion. So, um, it is civilization which the main obstacle for anarchists, capitalism, and the state are just symptoms of a larger problem. So let's go break that down. So it is civilization which is the main obstacle for anarchists. Yes, because anarchist societies in the past have not lasted long at all. So it would be yes, that is a very tough obstacle, but I believe that we will uh, overcome that. Capitalism and the state are just symptoms of a larger problem. Yes, capitalism and the state are things that people have produced, like they're inventions of us, obviously. And so, get getting those abolished, not abolished, but like getting those gone, um, would be somewhat the easiest part. The hardest part would be changing everybody's minds um, to understand. So yeah, that is a tough part. I agree with that. So the last thing to do is to predict our results. Um, Now I'm going to go. No, not anarcho Christian. I'm going to go with um, anarcho individualist because I'm very much a like individual based thing. So now we're going to view our results. Um, Got allow a moment for the results to appear. Apparently, the results aren't appearing. I'll jump cut and come back when that happens. Well, turns out that apparently I was right, but I don't think it really based anything off of the other questions. I think it just based off what I said I was gonna be. So that was that. That was the video. So I want you guys to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Um, Go watch our other video because it's a lot funnier. Um, and yeah, so go follow our Instagram. It is at We Are All Michaels. Uh, and I hope you guys have an amazing day and you look lovely in that new shirt. So yeah, bye.